Hello everyone, I am back with more Destash lots. These lots will be for junk journal supplies. The majority of the supplies are vintage supplies, but there's probably some more recent items included. You can see that the weight is just over 2 pounds. I did not stop until I reached 2 pounds. So you can see the flat rate bubble envelope is completely packed, and we will get into this. I have 4 of these lots made up. I do have supplies for more of the lots. I want to keep it at a fairly reasonable price. I have tons and tons of vintage supply and items that I'd hope to use on junk journals, but I just do not have the time to do that. I'm too busy with so many other things, and I thought I would pass them along for a reasonable price to people who could actually use them. So kind of excites me that hopefully people will purchase them. I think that there's a nice selection in here of items to use for a junk journal. I did not tea dye any of the papers, so when you receive the packet, nothing will be tea dyed or stained other than normal aging and wear. So they are ready for tea dyeing, coffee stain, tears, distressing, however you like to decorate your junk journals. So here we go. The 4 lots I have made up are exactly the same. They have the exact same items. Now there are a few items you will get the exact same item, but the image may be a little different. So to get started here, I have included several different styles of doilies, and I've included the same amount, I think, in each lot, but if you've used doilies, you know they're pretty hard to get apart. So I've included several of each style of doily, different sizes. Here's a heart one, and then these are very pretty, and I think there are 2 here. There should be 2, but you may get more than 2. It looks like there might be more than 2. So there you will get a stack of doilies, and then some miscellaneous papers here ready to be tea dyed, coffee stained. I am including these I think it's a learning tool from the 1970s. You can see it says 1970, so you will get 2 of those. Here's a stack of I think this, I'm not sure if this is a postcard, but I'm not sure, but it is vintage. And this is a postcard, so you'll get that. Here's one of the items. I did not have 4 of the same image, so everybody will get one of these fold out. I think it's like a kind of a postcard letter in one. Everybody will get one in the 4 pre-made lots I have made up, but you just might get a different bird image for that. Then we have a couple of really thick, they're not postcards, but I guess they could be turned into a postcard. So you'll get a couple of those. Here is another, you fold them. So there you go. Okay, you will get several pieces of journal paper. Some of them are vintage. Some of them, that's a really pretty one, will come from newer journal books. These, as you can see, are vintage. They have some very nice aging on those. This one I love, the image there, and then there's an image on the back. I did not have very many of these left, so everybody will get one. Then we have a few sheets of, I think these came out of a guest book. A few, I think these are glassine. A few of those bags. You'll get a stack of all different varieties, colors, sizes of envelopes. These are 1993, so a lot of them are vintage. They have a really pretty flower on them. Some of them might be newer. So whites, creams, parchment. There's yellow, the speckled type. This is a vintage envelope there. There's letter set envelopes in here. There's green. Oh, this is a nice one. I want to pull this one out. This is very old. You can see the glue is yellowed. There's a rose on there. It's got some nice aging to it, so everyone will get one of those. Some of the vintage envelopes, I don't know if they're going to be stuck together or not. I did not check. I just started piling all the items until I reached the 2-pound point. So you'll see different styles, colors, sizes, aging. There's blue, so you'll see you'll get a stack of envelopes, which I know people love to use in their junk journals. Then we have some vintage bingo cards. I included a stack of those. And I believe they are all vintage. This is something neat I found at a thrift store. It's 1988. They're sign language cards. So everybody will get several of those, or actually I guess I included 2. So those are pretty neat. Some flashcards, and I know there's more in the stack, so we'll get to those. But I like using these for tags, and I'm sure other people like to do the same. Okay, so here we have an authentic airmail from the war period. And you can see this one is... It is very old, so it is sealed, so I'm going to leave it like that. The person that gets this lot can open it or do with it whatever they like, but it's very thin paper. I included 1 sheet of paper in the envelope, a sheet of letter paper, and that is vintage. Then you will get 2 of these vintage envelopes. You'll see this one has some nice aging on it. The sheet of paper actually goes with the envelope, but you can see the color discoloration, I guess, or aging on this sheet. So I do want to point out that everyone will have the same items in each package, but the aging may be different. So for example, this was on the top of the stack, so some of the items below will not have as much aging on it. So there you go. I included this card and envelope set. It's has a really pretty embossed image. It's a little thicker, so I like to cut these apart and use them for tags, so you will get that. Some pink parchment paper, a vintage notepad sheet, some more note paper. I tried to include a nice variety. And then we get into a few tags. Here's a vintage layaway ticket, a couple of repair tags, and you'll see these came from the same lot I believe I bought at a flea market, and you can see the aging difference there. This one again was on the top of the stack, so it has a little more aging on it. Not all tags will have that much aging, but this particular tag will. Whoever gets this will get a nice age tag already. Alright, then I am including a couple of the larger tags. Okay, this is something kind of neat I found. It's a 1978, I believe it's a learning game or learning tool. So you'll get 2 of those. And you'll get a few lists. I think these might be vintage or on the verge of being vintage. I believe I got them in a vintage thrift store swap, if I'm not mistaken, so I wanted to include those. There's a grocery list. I have some bingo cards here. They're fairly new. I believe I bought them years back for, we play bingo at Christmas time sometimes in my family, so I have a stack of those, so I wanted to share some of those. This is really neat here. I found it in a thrift store. You'll see the nice aging. It is a piece of note paper, and I just think that's adorable. And we have 1997. So this, I guess, would be considered vintage if you go by the 20-year rule. And this is a letter set from the post office, so you will get one sheet of paper. So I guess it's not quite a set. A set is 2 sheets. And then you'll get the matching envelope to go with that. We have a couple more lists here. I think those are newer. And then I do have some of the airmail paper from Hallmark. It might be vintage. It's not from the wartime airmail paper, but it's a light blue. I thought that would be something that would look great in a junk journal. We have a security envelope here, a piece of vellum, and then to get into book pages, everyone will get a stack of different sizes of book pages, different aging. You can see these are aged very nicely, and a couple sheets of this has some nice images on there. I have included some music sheets. I don't see a date on these, but they are vintage, probably 20s, 30s, 40s, something like that, maybe even a bit older, I'm not positive. Okay, these are pretty neat. I took these from a 1940s or 50s typing instructor manual or booklet, so you'll get a couple of those, and then a stack of some of these pages with colored images. I thought I would throw in some different pages with images on them, so everybody will get a stack. They will be different, but you will get a stack of pages with colored images. I'm not sure what this is, but it's so large I had to fold it in half so I could fit it into the package. So you will get that. This is a contract. I don't know the age. I know it's vintage. Oh, revised September 1956, so that is from the 50s. Got a vintage divider sheet there. Some linen paper from the Lincoln Presidential Library. So this is probably newer, I would guess. We have some graph paper. This came out of a Sears work notebook, I guess, where they come up with the plan on what they will do. So I thought that was kind of neat. It is vintage. It has green lines. Here's some graph paper, vintage graph paper with the blue lines. Then this is, I believe this is vintage. So, and this has blue lines and it is graph paper. Here's some craft paper. I was going to trim off the little edging here, but then I thought it might add some nice texture, so I decided to leave it. Here's a stack of more book pages, all different sizes, styles. You can see more images there, colored images, so there's some more book pages there. Everyone will get music sheet. This is 1949, so everyone will get a copy of that. Then we have some larger pages here, and I believe I had to trim these pages here just a little bit to fit into the flat rate envelope. Here's some ledger paper. I'm not sure if this is vintage or not. It does say made in USA. So you'll get several pieces of that. Here's some vintage recycled paper, and I believe it was dated something like early 90s, so I am going to call that vintage. Some pieces of vellum. Now each package will have 3 sheets of vellum. The design or pattern may not be the same in each package. I did not have 4 of the same designs, so you will get 3 pieces of vellum. And here is a piece of vintage scrapbook paper. Alright, then we have, okay, everybody will get one of these. I'm not sure what to call it. It came out of a souvenir booklet. So everybody will get one. You'll get a different image, but you will get that. Then we have 2 of the small shopping bags. One of them I will have more items in it just to keep everything a little neater in the flat rate. So you'll get the 2 smaller shopping bags. You will get some canceled stamps. You will receive, oh, what are these? Receipts, I guess. And they are vintage. It says 195, which means that it's 1950s. You'll get several of those. We have some vintage, oh, what is this? A bill, I guess. So you'll get a couple of those. This I thought was fun. I found this at a thrift store, so I wanted to include that. You'll get some game sheets. I think this is one of those cardboard things that some vintage lace came on, so I used those to make tags, so I thought I would include that. More game sheets, some labels. I thought these would be fun, some little fake money, so I'm including that. You'll get some game cards. I don't know what this game is. It is vintage. It's 1988. Slapjack, Angry Andy, Tiny Timothy. So everybody will get one each of these cards. Some more stamps. Then we have some easy money. This came out of, I believe, a 1920s game. So everybody will get a stack of the easy money. Oh, there's another game card. Keyword game card. I believe this is password game card. Junior trivia. I think this might be from the 70s or 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Some more vintage flashcards, some vintage note cards. See these, you'll get, I believe I put 5 each of the canceled stamps. There's 2 different images, so you'll get 5 each of those. This is a vintage coaster. I thought this was really cute, so I wanted to share those in the package. And this is a newer item. This is 7 Gypsies, and it looks like it's a library card holder, so I thought that would be something neat to include in a junk journal. I'm also throwing in some of these vintage poker chips and some more game cards, and then some vintage coin rolls. So that's what you will get. It is just over 2 pounds. I want to keep these fairly reasonable price, so I'm going to offer them at $15 each. If you are interested in one of the packages, just comment below. It's going to be PayPal, US only. If you comment below with your PayPal account, I will send an invoice to you. And if you have any questions, let me know. Also, once, depending on the demand, if these go over well, if they all go quickly and you are interested in a package and you did not get one, leave me a comment below. I can put a package together, send you an invoice, and you can pay for it. So I do have plenty of supplies left to make up additional packages. So that's what you get. I hope you enjoy the video, and thank you so much for watching.